Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Cartere, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing House of Cards Season 4 Episode 5. Um, and it was an alright episode. I mean, there were some good things that happened. There were some good plot threads, continuations from the last episodes. A lot of things that I wanted to see, like happen on a bigger scale. I saw it happen on a bigger scale. Like people investigated into Lucas's claims and stuff like that. But obviously nothing's been wrapped up yet. But what really annoyed me about this episode is, like, obviously I'm a fan of Frank Underwood. I'm a fan of Kevin Spacey. That's why I watch House of Cards. Like, that is the number one reason why I come back to it. And in this episode, Frank Underwood didn't say one word, and like, that's understandable, spoiler alert, because he was in like a coma kind of thing. But they did show him walking around and shit like that. So if you're gonna show him walking around, come on, let him give us a monologue or something. But I guess they were trying to show like his state of mind. It seems like he's going a bit crazy or something. But it's been seeming like that from like the beginning of this season, or maybe even a couple seasons back. But it never seems like it phases him. He always seems like he's going through some sort of mental anguish, but it doesn't seem like he really shows it. So I don't know if like he's just gonna explode eventually, or if he's gonna just keep on resisting these feelings that he's got. But otherwise, it was an alright episode. Some good things happened. Not a lot of like big exciting moments happen, and of course, because there's no Frank Underwood, you didn't get to see him do any wild shit. So I guess I'll say this episode was okay. It was a cool stepping stone to see where we're gonna get to next. I don't know what's gonna happen in the next episode. I really hope Frank hurries up and wakes up, because this is fucking taking ages. But yeah, let's get into the spoiler heavy section. I did give you a couple spoilers, but we're gonna get into the spoiler heavy section now. So basically, I think I've got like three plot points right about here. First of all, we're going to go into Russia versus America, which is a big part of this episode. Gas prices go up to over $6, and there seems to be a gas outage, which is kind of terrible for the country. I don't really know about gas prices and shit because I don't drive, so I'm just assuming that this is really terrible because they said it was really terrible. But yeah, Claire gets close to Donald Blythe, who is the vice president, who's currently acting president. She gets him to allow her to listen to his call with Petrov, the Russian president, while feeding him notes via his computer. So it seems that Claire is like behind the scenes right about now, trying to control the spineless vice president and get him to do whatever she wants, basically. So right about now, she's in a very powerful position. She's probably hoping that Frank doesn't wake up for a little bit, so that she can like get her talons deep into Donald and get him to do whatever she wants him to do. Also, there's no other, I don't know if the acting president gets a vice president or not, but there hasn't been one yet, so maybe it's just trying to finagle in that position. But anyways, Donald seems to do well in a phone call with Petrov due to Claire's string pulling. He lets Petrov know that Frank may die and needs a liver transplant, which was Claire's advice. I think Kathy, the Secretary of State, wasn't happy with this, but Claire told him to do it, and he thought about it for a little while, and then he went through with it. So now Russia knows that Frank is out of the picture for a little while, which I personally think isn't the best thing to happen. Like, you don't really want Russia to know this sort of shit, because, you know, my man's out there on some madness. Like, he's got no, he doesn't seem to have any logic or reason to him. He just seems like a crazy guy. I'm talking about Petrov, by the way. Claire also tells Donald that she feels nothing about her mum or Frank possibly dying, and then she asks Donald to let her handle China. So I'm thinking she said this sort of stuff to try and get closer to Donald a little bit. I'm thinking they might, you know, get together or have an affair or something. Or maybe she's just trying to get in his mind and make him think that, okay, I don't care about Frank, maybe you've got a chance. So he tries to get a chance, and then in the end she doesn't actually give it to him. But yeah, she's really playing with this guy right about now. Also, Leanne blackmails Remy into working for her using pictures of his and Jackie's relationship. Now, I really don't understand why Remy and Jackie's relationship is such a big thing and he's able to be blackmailed over it. Because at the last I checked, I swear Jackie was single and so's Remy. Like, what's wrong with them having sex and chilling? Like, I really don't understand it. But apparently that will hurt her campaign. Claire asks Remy to go to Raymond Tusk to negotiate with China, and then Remy blackmails Tusk into helping him because Remy committed perjury when he said that Walker knew about, was it the money or the laundering or something like that. So he said, yo, you gotta get involved with this or else I'll tell people that you knew about this and that you was working with Frank and all this sort of shit. So yeah, Tusk comes on board. And then Kathy, the Secretary of State, is not happy with Donald's decisions at all. She wants him to leave diplomatic relations to her and the state. And then Doug sees that Donald is meeting with Raymond Tusk, so he's not happy about that because he's like, Frank would never let this happen. And then Claire asks Doug to work with her, not against her, and promises to keep him in the loop from now on. I really don't trust Claire. I don't trust a word she says. I don't think she has Frank's best interest at heart at all. I think she's just out for herself, and anything that comes out her mouth, I take it with a grain of salt. So her saying that she's going to keep Doug in the loop and she wants him to help out so they can work together, I don't believe it, and I don't trust her. Remy, Donald, and Tusk tell Claire their plan to partner with China in order to combat Russia. Obviously, Claire probably already knew about this shit, but Tusk doesn't know that Claire told Remy to go and get him. So to keep up appearances, they tell her. And that's basically the Russia versus Frank equation right about now. We're going to get on to the next big plot point of the episode, which is Lucas Goodwin's ghost versus Frank. If you didn't know, in the last episode, Lucas Goodwin kicked the bucket, and right about now, his ghost is wreaking havoc. First of all, Frank's attack gains him sympathy with the public. This was a prediction that I had, but I forgot to voice it in the last episode because I was thinking, since he's getting shot and stuff, even though his polls were low, I thought since he is getting shot at, like generally when presidents get murdered or when anyone gets killed, people or shot at or hurt, people start like having more affection for them and whatnot. So I thought him getting shot would help him out. I didn't know to what extent, but apparently in this episode they tell us that his polls are doing pretty well. I think he's in the lead of the presidential race right about now. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's doing very well. I think he's definitely doing better than Dunbar. But yeah, Lucas Goodwin left a suicide note incriminating Doug and Frank. Well, I say incriminating, it's more accusing because there's no actual proof. It's just accusing Doug and Frank. And then the FBI investigate the claims in Lucas's note, and the claims are reported in the press. So that's terrible for Frank. Frank doesn't want this out, especially since he can't even defend himself. But Claire convinces Doug to allow her to notify the press of Frank's situation. She also uses this opportunity to garner more sympathy for herself. She's like crying and shit and seeming very upset. And we know Claire doesn't give a shit about none of this stuff. Like her and Frank are made for each other, really. And then she also addresses the suicide note that Lucas Goodwin left by claiming that Lucas was mentally ill. But a reporter at the press conference is not convinced by Claire's speech at all. And she goes to see Lucas's old editor, and then he tells her to let it go. But later on, he starts looking into like his notes and the files of the situation again. So he might start investigating the thing and then get back with this reporter, and then they might investigate it together. But yeah, let's keep the predictions from later on. But yeah, it's seeming like there's going to be more digging into this Lucas Goodwin situation. I don't think it's over and done with. Not at all. And this shit might come to bite Frank in the ass. So our next plot point is Seth versus Frank. Remember Seth, that bastard that was betraying Frank from before? Doug gets confirmation that Seth leaked the photo of Frank with the Civil War reenactor. And then Doug confronts Seth and tells him to resign. Seth tells Doug that he knows things. Then Doug advises him that he has no proof and it's not a good idea to make threats. Because you know Doug is on this thing. Like, Seth might say some shit, I know things, and then he might end up in a dumpster 3 days later. So I wouldn't do that if I was Seth either. Seth then tells Doug that Dunbar told the Attorney General that she met with Lucas Goodwin. Remember when I said Dunbar should have never told the Attorney General that she met with Lucas Goodwin? I knew something like this was going to happen. I knew that it would come back to bite her in the arse because she shouldn't have been doing it. And then at the time when the Attorney General says, "Oh, you shouldn't have been doing that," like, I'm not touching this. I knew this was a terrible thing that she didn't want coming out, and it was probably gonna come out and hurt her. And Frank was gonna finesse the situation, but Frank's in the hospital bed. He's not even finessing the situation. He's got his team to finesse the situation. So Doug's out finessing the situation, but the situation got finessed. Nevertheless, so my prediction was right. So yeah. Doug had originally intended to fire the Attorney General due to the Lucas Goodwin mess up because they didn't even know that he was released on WITSEC or anything. So it was like, come on, like, you got to get fired for this. You should have known better. You should have informed us. But yeah, he allows her to keep her job if she admits that Dunbar told her that she met with Lucas. And then this is then reported to the press. Doug lets Seth keep his job, but suffocates him with a cup out of nowhere for a moment to remind him to stay in line. Like, when I saw this happen, I thought that, you know, Seth's days might be behind him. Like, he might get murdered with a glass cup. I don't understand why Doug done it. He could have just done it with his hand, but I guess a glass cup is a whole lot more menacing and weird. Like, who suffocates people with a glass cup? But yeah, that was a bit mad. So now Seth left that situation a bit scared. He doesn't seem like he's gonna do any of the bullshit that he was doing before. But you know, we can't trust him. He already betrayed Frank and everyone before, so we don't know what Seth is gonna do in the future. Hopefully he stays loyal. And then Frank also has some sort of fit at the end of the episode. Now, I don't think Frank's gonna die. If Frank does die, then oh my god, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do. Like, I probably wouldn't keep on watching the show if Frank was dead. You know what? Let me take that back. I probably would watch the show, but I'd be very upset because Kevin Spacey is one of my favorite actors. I said it before, and Frank Underwood is the main reason why I watch the show. And if they killed him, then what would be the point? But he does have a fit at the end of the episode. I don't know what that's gonna lead into. It's a bit mad. I'm really excited to see what happens next because I want to see how this shit wraps up. But yeah, I've got 4 questions for you guys to answer in the comments below. First of all is, will Dunbar make a comeback, or is this gonna hurt her campaign? Like, the knowledge that she's been, what's the word? Basically, she's been linking up with Lucas Goodwin. The fact that she met him and all that sort of shit, and that it came out, is that gonna hurt her campaign? Pardon me, is she going to get prosecuted or anything? I personally think she's not going to make a comeback. I doubt she'll get prosecuted. Maybe she will, you know. Maybe she will, actually. Because I remember I thought that they was going to make it look like she organised the hit on him. And I think that's definitely a possibility. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that. And my second question is, will Frank take the lead in the race? I'm unsure if he's in the lead already, but I'm hoping he takes the lead. So I'm going to predict that he takes the lead because all this shit that's going down is really terrible, but it could also prove to be a positive for him because, like, sympathy's on his side and that sort of shit. And then my third question is, will Raymond Tusk's involvement piss off Frank and or hurt Frank's campaign? I think Raymond Tusk's involvement will definitely hurt Frank's campaign because obviously Raymond Tusk was involved in that whole scandal with the Walker administration, and then Frank pardoned him after that. So I really don't think having him involved in the White House in any way is a good idea, but I guess they have to do it to kind of finagle China and get Russia off their backs. But I think that's really going to piss Frank off when he comes back. Hopefully he comes back by the end of the season. If they keep him in a coma for the rest of the season, I'm going to be really pissed off, you know. Super pissed off. So I hope he comes back in the next 2 episodes. But I don't think he's going to be happy about Raymond Tusk because he hated Raymond Tusk in season 2. Oh my god. He was not fucking with Raymond Tusk at all. So I don't think he's going to come back and be playing nicely at all. And then my 4th question is, will Lucas Goodwin's... Is that how you say it? Will Lucas Goodwin's claims hurt Frank? Will Lucas's claims hurt Frank, basically? I don't know if I'm supposed to, like, pluralize the first name and the second name, but will Lucas's claims hurt Frank? I think people are going to investigate into it. I think both the reporters are going to look into it a bit deeper. But will Frank get convicted for the murders or something? I don't know. If that does happen, that's going to be a really late season type of finale type shit. I hope it doesn't. These guys who are doing the researching and investigation are probably going to get snuffed at some way. And that's what I'm rooting for, to be honest. I'm rooting for Doug to come out here and snuff these guys. I'm not rooting for Frank's fall from grace or whatever. But it seems like that's the way that the series is going. So I have no clue, but remember to leave your ideas and your predictions down in the comment section below so we can have a little discussion. Like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Thanks for watching.
It's been a cold winter and it's lasted far too long, so all this warmth I share with you.